Shadows deep where silence reigns. A heart beats soft, but it's stained with pain. Kirika with hair as dark as the night, red eyes reflecting a flicker of light. Daily bread in hand, but the taste is bitter. Each bite a reminder of the life that's a slitter. Deus exhorting nos et miserere, she pleads for peace in the chaos and to mend her needs. Tears fall like rain in the silence of shame. Donna Nobi's watching, yet she carries the blame. Why doesn't it sadden me? Echoes the plea. In the dance of the dark, she longs to be free. Maria watches, a specter of grace, with laughter that echoes in this desolate place. If we understood the mystery, she softly confides, would I then kill you where truth resides? In the depths of her heart, Kirika feels the weight of the life she's taken. It's a twisted fate. Salva nos Deus, she whispers in woe, as her tears carve rivers, a silent tableau. Tears fall like rain in the silence of shame. Donna Nobi's watching, yet she carries the blame. Why doesn't it sadden me? Echoes the plea. In the dance of the dark, she longs to be free. In this world of shadows where the lost souls convene, Kirika fights demons, caught in between. A frail figure standing on the edge of despair. With the heart full of sorrow, she gasps for air. Each life that I take leaves a mark on my soul, yet the apathy lingers, it's taking its toll. Donna Nobi's pacem, she cries in the night, as her tears fall like rain swallowed by the fight. Lord God, hear us, she whispers in dread. Save us from enemies, from the path I tread.
In the second episode of Noir, titled Daily Bread, the scene opens with a striking visual. A car, drenched in the color of blood, speeds down a road bathed in a purple hue as the sun sets. This color scheme is not merely aesthetic, it serves as a harbinger of the violence that is to unfold. The warmth of the sunset contrasts sharply with the foreboding red, suggesting an impending doom that hovers over the family's seemingly idyllic life. As we witness a protective father returning home to the eager embrace of his son, Henry, and the tender presence of his wife holding their baby, there is a fleeting sense of normalcy and joy. The father's promise to buy a new game for Henry feels like a gentle reminder of everyday life, a slice of happiness in a world that is often dark and chaotic. However, this warmth is short-lived. The facade of their home is soon shattered, literally and metaphorically, as a bomb explodes, obliterating their lives and sending debris flying for blocks. The aftermath, a cloud of orange smoke and fire, paints a haunting picture of destruction. This powerful opening serves as a jarring bait-and-switch that encapsulates the essence of Noir. It thrusts the audience into a world where joy can be punctured by violence in an instant, and where the fragility of life is laid bare. The contrast between the tender family scene and the brutal explosion is a masterful narrative technique, establishing the series' dark tone while also igniting a deep-seated desire for vengeance in the audience. As Kirika and Marielle, our protagonists, are introduced, they are faced not only with the emotional weight of the tragedy, but also with a formidable unknown antagonist who wields explosives with deadly precision. This sets the stage for a deeper exploration of both the characters and the moral complexities of their world. Transitioning to the streets of Paris, the animation shines as the directors display their homage to the city's beauty. The architecture, accentuated by the lilting strains of an accordion, offers a momentary reprieve from the darkness. Kirika's attire, a shirt emblazoned with the French flag, adds a touch of humor and character depth. She is indeed a tourist navigating a world that she is yet to fully understand. Marielle's moment of window shopping, while embodying a familiar stereotype, is cleverly woven into the narrative, showcasing their day-to-day lives amidst the chaos of their profession. This slice-of-life approach humanizes the assassins, grounding them in relatable experiences that resonate with the audience. As Kirika watches a distant television screen displaying news of the family's funeral, the foreshadowing is palpable. The characters are not merely observers, they are intricately tied to the consequences of violence that permeate their world. The funeral scene itself, with its stunning visuals of the cemetery and church adorned with indigo and purple tiles, evokes a melancholic beauty that captures the series' aesthetic brilliance. The art style, washed out yet striking, reflects the gritty undertones of the narrative, creating an unsettling beauty that mirrors the complexities of life and death. In Daily Bread, the episode serves not just as a continuation of the story, but as a profound exploration of loss, identity, and the human experience within a darkly woven tapestry of crime and consequence. This delicate balance of visual artistry and narrative depth is what makes Noir a compelling exploration of the shadows that lie beneath the surface of everyday life. In the subsequent scene, we find ourselves at a funeral, a somber gathering for the detective and his family who fell victim to a devastating bombing. The cemetery is a striking tableau, its beauty underscored by the indigo-purple tiles of the church roof, glistening under a muted sky. The lush greenery of the surrounding shrubs offers a pleasing contrast, yet the overall aesthetic is washed, a deliberate choice that lends an air of unease, a hallmark of the noir genre. This visual disquiet invites the viewer to grapple with the discomfort that shadows the beauty, evoking a feeling that lingers long after the image fades. As the scene unfolds, one of the detectives is approached by his superior. They enter a vehicle, the confines of which become a crucible for their conversation. The boss voices a grave concern. He suspects a leak within the department, someone feeding confidential names to those who would do harm. He tasks the detective with an urgent report, 48 hours to uncover the truth of betrayal lurking within their ranks. Their exchange is laden with tension. The boss utters a prayer that their darkest fears do not come to fruition, to which the detective responds with a hollow promise of solidarity. This interaction is rich with subtext. As the episode progresses, it becomes clear that this very detective is the traitor, selling secrets to a terrorist organization, facilitating the very acts of violence that haunt them. The moral complexity of his character deepens as he stands, feigning grief at a funeral for the very lives he has helped extinguish. This duality paints him not simply as a villain, but as a master manipulator, a tragic figure entangled in his own web of deceit. While the series may lack a truly memorable villain, it compensates with well-crafted antagonists who possess intricate backstories, seamlessly woven into the fabric of a mystery thriller. Noir thrives on such complexity, where the lines between hero and villain blur, leaving viewers captivated by the unfolding drama. Character sympathy is deftly explored in this narrative. The detective's heinous actions, his role in the assassination of a family, stand in stark contrast to the anti-heroic nature of Kirika and Marielle. While their own actions are morally ambiguous, the sheer malevolence of the detective allows the audience to overlook their transgressions. Such storytelling invites reflection on the nature of evil and the circumstances that shape it. Following this tension-laden scene, the narrative shifts to Kirika and Marielle. Their lives intertwine in a domestic setting as they embark on a mundane yet intimate ritual of food shopping and cooking. Though it may appear repetitive, this slice-of-life element serves a critical purpose. It offers a glimpse into their lives as they await the next assignment, a moment of respite before the storm of revelations regarding their pasts, a quest to uncover the truth behind Marielle's parents' murder and Kirika's elusive identity. Their culinary endeavors reveal subtle cultural nuances. The small, delicately prepared dishes reflect both a stereotype and a cultural truth, shedding light on their characters' dimensions. A controversial yet significant moment arises in the kitchen when Marielle requests a paring knife. The exchange of the knife, with its blade momentarily pointed toward Kirika, serves as a poignant metaphor. It hints at Marielle's awareness of Kirika's expertise with weapons, while foreshadowing the darker promise that looms over their burgeoning friendship. The unspoken agreement that Kirika will allow Marielle to end her life once the truth of their pasts is unveiled casts a shadow over their relationship, a delicate balance between kinship and the specter of betrayal. In a moment of unexpected levity, Kirika finds herself begrudgingly chewing on a piece of bread. Her disdain is palpable, a silent rebellion against the mundane ritual of daily sustenance. Marielle, with a playful lilt in her voice, remarks that this bread is meant to be their daily blessing, a nod to the biblical metaphor of sustenance. Kirika, with a hint of irony, insists that she is indeed enjoying the bread. Marielle's sarcastic retort, "Really?" carries a weight of humor that is a rare gem in an otherwise serious narrative. This exchange, though simplistic, serves as a reminder that even in the darkest corners of life, moments of levity can seep through, illuminating the characters' humanity amidst their grim realities. Yet, the humor is fleeting, overshadowed by the genre's inherent gravity. Critics often draw comparisons between this series and Cowboy Bebop, noting that the latter achieves a delicate balance between humor, sorrow, and action. In contrast, the world of Noir is steeped in a relentless somberness, leaving the viewer yearning for emotional fluctuations that would enrich the experience. The absence of such tonal shifts in this anime creates an atmosphere that often feels oppressive, stifling the potential for deeper character exploration. As night falls, we witness Marielle tending to their plants, a serene yet poignant act that evokes memories of Leon, the professional. The camera lingers on her gun and locket, the latter's melody echoing like a ghost from the past. This moment seamlessly transitions into flashbacks, a narrative device that reveals the character's inner turmoil. While the intention behind these cuts is to establish psychological depth, their overuse becomes a double-edged sword. The extended sequences of previous episodes, sometimes running nearly 2 minutes, risk monotonous repetition, detracting from the immediacy of the story. The cost-saving measure of recycling footage is evident, yet it can render the narrative frustratingly sluggish, testing the viewer's patience. In an atmospheric shift, we are thrust into a clandestine meeting between the corrupt officer, Legrand, and Pierre, the leader of the terrorist organization. Set against the backdrop of La Villa, its authenticity as a French locale adding an air of sophistication. The dialogue crackles with philosophical undertones. Pierre's assertion that there is no bigger fool than a ferocious dog blindly loyal to its master serves as a biting commentary on Legrand's misplaced loyalties. The stakes are elevated as Pierre claims their actions contribute to the future of France, a grandiose declaration that underscores the moral quagmire in which they are mired. As the scene unfolds, we learn more about Legrand and Pierre, their names becoming synonymous with deceit and ambition. Noir's assignment to eliminate them adds a layer of urgency to the narrative. The voice acting enhances the gravity of the moment, drawing the audience into the unsettling world of these characters. The background music resonates with the tension, reinforcing the dark undertones of their conversation. Marielle's wry remark to Kirika, "At the end of the day, all of them are scum, but the cleaning fee is really high," encapsulates the moral ambiguity that permeates the series. The French currency, with its unclear value, symbolizes the murky ethics of their profession. Here lies one of the anime's central themes, the examination of morality in a world where every character is tainted by wrongdoing. The narrative invites us to confront uncomfortable truths about human nature. It challenges the notion of the lesser of two evils, presenting a world where even those who eliminate bad people are still bound by their own moral failings. This exploration is particularly resonant, as it mirrors our own struggles to navigate a world rife with corruption. Kirika and Marielle's journey becomes a reflection of our quest for identity amidst chaos, forcing us to scrutinize not only their choices but our own. As we delve deeper into the psyche of these women, we recognize that their path to self-discovery is fraught with ethical dilemmas. They must confront the reality of their actions and the implications of living in a world that demands bloodshed. Ultimately, the anime poses a profound question. What does it mean to be a person of integrity in a society that rewards ruthlessness? This introspection is crucial, as it resonates with viewers who grapple with their own moral compasses in an increasingly complex world. Legrand and Pierre have another meeting at La Villa, and as they say in the criminal underworld, the best way to be taken out is to not realize that you're falling into a routine or pattern. They go to La Villa for another weekly meeting, repeating the same type of interaction where they sit at two separate tables with their backs turned to each other. With nobody else at their tables, it appears quite strange, almost as if they're talking to themselves. This setup makes it clear to anyone watching that these two are engaged in a conversation. Meanwhile, Marielle and Kirika are at another table, observing their behavior as though they are detectives, and they receive information confirming a connection between both men. The next scene shows Kirika and Marielle seemingly going for a walk, but they're actually passing the safe house situated near a large hill with many stone stairs. The hideout resembles a mansion, enclosed by a gated fence, reminiscent of a luxurious building in Washington, D.C. or Manhattan. As the scene progresses, they return to Marielle's apartment, where she retrieves a blueprint of the building where Pierre and Legrand are hiding. Since the main entrance is locked by a fence, Marielle decides that Kirika will take the escape route, while she will approach through the main entrance. It's evident that Marielle is leading their team, and Kirika has no qualms about this arrangement, which makes sense given Marielle's high intelligence and social acumen. The scene cuts to a computer screen, where Marielle responds to a message titled, "Re-request of assassination." She types back, "I will undertake the case, Noir." This decision to name their group Noir is significant. It's French for black, but it also references a genre of film. The choice of this name seems coincidental at this stage, as Marielle and Kirika remain unaware of its deeper implications, the connection to the Soldat cult, which believes 3 assassins in the criminal underworld are destined to fulfill a prophecy. The name Noir also alludes to how they are perceived within the assassination world, where their presence is as fearsome as the Grim Reaper emerging from the shadows, primarily operating at night. We then shift to an ancient manor and vineyard where Altena, the high priestess of the Soldats, resides. It's evident that she possesses extrasensory powers, sensing the assignments Noir undertakes, whether they are succeeding or in need of assistance. She recognizes that the second coming of Noir, as prophesied in the Soldat cult, is approaching her manor for a final ritual intended to grant them greater power. This foreshadows Altena's role in the series, as she orchestrates Noir's assignments, establishing her as a significant character, possibly a main villain. The scene transitions back to Marielle and Kirika navigating a sewer filled with tunnels, illuminated by small yellow lights against the purple walls. They draw a small circle with chalk on one of the walls, using it as a target for practice, challenging themselves to shoot accurately from approximately 100 feet away. Both manage to hit the target, foreshadowing their continued use of this location. The last segment of this scene emphasizes their commitment to their assassin lifestyle, punctuating the reality of their existence. Another scene depicts them at a table in Marielle's apartment, meticulously assembling and loading their guns. This precision takes time, and the setting at sunset bathes the room in an orange hue, reminiscent of dried blood. This clever use of color foreshadows the dark outcomes they are inevitably heading toward. Overall, this episode does an excellent job of establishing characters and providing insight into the villains, ensuring everyone has depth and dimension. Despite some elements that may feel slow or repetitive, It effectively builds suspense and mystery, keeping viewers engaged with the unfolding story. It is revealed that Pierre owns what he calls his humble fortress. He tells Legrand that he believes a rival faction is acting strangely, so just for kicks, Pierre had his men kidnap and brutally interrogate a member of the rival terrorist group. Pierre boasts about how tough this guy was, but eventually he spilled his guts. The tortured man is tied to a chair, his head down, visibly battered from being punched in the stomach repeatedly. Pierre also reveals the name of the assassin who is going to kill them, Noir. This revelation shocks Legrand, prompting him to deliver some intriguing expository dialogue about Noir. He explains that it's not the same Noir as before. The last time the police hired Noir was back in the 1970s. This series takes place in the late 2000s, and he notes that the French police have previously utilized Noir. I appreciate this expository dialogue because it adds an air of mystery. Were there other assassins prophesied throughout the millennia, or were there simply other assassins who coincidentally used the alias Noir? This is a fascinating talking point that remains unexplored throughout the rest of the series, but it certainly piques curiosity about the backstory of Noir. The scene ends with Legrand questioning whether Noir has become active again or if someone entirely new is using the name. The mansion looks stunning during sunset, with its purple and golden walls bathed in the warm orange glow. Then we arrive at one of the best parts of the sequence, as Yuki Kajiura's haunting song, Salva Nos, plays in the background. I interpret this song as resonating with the themes of T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland, where both main assassins struggle with a desire for death while simultaneously wanting to stay alive to see their missions through. The melody is beautiful yet chilling, beginning with a saxophone, echoing piano, and sounds of wind. It is often considered one of the greatest songs in all of anime due to its ability to capture the psychological thriller tone and the chaotic mental state of Kirika and Marielle. Marielle sneaks into the house and shoots someone in the back who is standing on a landing and doesn't hear her. The scene cuts back to Pierre and Legrand, where Pierre outlines their plan to escape the building and regroup with their members. He instructs his main goon to kill the rival member using piano wire concealed in his wristwatch. Suddenly, a large Uzi goes off, signaling to Pierre and Legrand that someone is invading their hideout. They know it's Noir. Pierre instructs his man to take Legrand to the emergency exit. Accompanied by two others, Pierre later finds himself confronted by Marielle, who is more agile and waits for Pierre to stop firing in frustration. His anger over being outmatched is clear, revealing his lack of experience with assassins of her caliber. He is shot by her and lies flat on the floor while Marielle takes her time to ensure he is truly dead. During this moment, Salva Nos plays again, accompanying the haunting visuals. The English lyrics resonate deeply. Lord God, hear us and feel pity. Hear us, Lord, grant us peace and save us from the enemies. Save us, God, Lord God, hear us and feel pity. Hear us, Lord, grant us peace and save us from the enemies. Save us, God. The combination of thriller, action, and the darkness of the series is beautifully executed, interweaving the music, violence, tone, and weapon design with great dimension. As time passes, it becomes nighttime. Kirika is peering around a corner when suddenly, the main assassin places piano wire around her neck. She manages to see it and uses her gun to prevent the wire from fully encircling her neck, but she is still being choked, and you can hear her gag. Her wide eyes reveal her struggle to breathe, evoking a painful memory of animal abuse I witnessed as a child. Legrand watches her fight for her life with an indifferent expression, showcasing his cold, sociopathic, and potentially sadistic tendencies. In a desperate move, Kirika grabs the glasses off his head. The assassin choking her thinks nothing of it. She breaks the glasses and takes one of the sharp points that connect the lens, stabbing it into his neck. As he gasps for breath, she shoots him while he struggles, standing up with a look of anger yet also in a trance, reminiscent of the T-1000 from Terminator. Legrand, visibly disturbed and shocked, watches in disbelief. He utters, "This can't be, no, not the same Noir," just before she shoots him dead, and he lets out a battle cry as he falls to the ground. Marielle then appears behind Kirika, commenting on her method, saying that her work is so garish. In that moment, we see a close-up of Kirika's face, which conveys sadness but also a trance-like state, suggesting she is not fully processing Marielle's words. This beautifully establishes her mental state amidst the chaos. The same haunting lyrics from Salva Nos play again, underscoring the emotional weight of the scene. In the next scene, Kirika and Marielle take a walk together, the atmosphere shifting as birds sing and Marielle appears cheerful. Kirika, however, expresses a profound sense of conflict, stating, "Daily bread, I make a living killing people," followed by a close-up of her tears. "But why doesn't that sadden me?" she wonders aloud. Marielle responds with a chilling remark, "If we knew, I would kill you and then be done with it." This exchange starkly highlights the dark atmosphere of the series, encapsulating the internal struggles the characters face as they navigate their violent realities. The interplay of their dialogue and the haunting backdrop of Salva Nos continues to weave a rich tapestry of emotions, illustrating the complexity of their existence as assassins. The combination of action, psychological depth, and beautifully crafted music creates a compelling narrative that lingers long after the scene ends, leaving viewers to ponder the nature of their lives and the choices they make. Closing thoughts on Daily Bread. First of all, this is a standout second episode. It does an excellent job of establishing Marielle and Kirika, showcasing their day-to-day lives, including their meals and the detective-like nature of their assassinations. The episode delves into moral ambiguity, presenting them as anti-heroes who sometimes eliminate individuals worse than themselves. This dynamic is central to the series, as it portrays them as tragic figures, villains in their own right, yet somewhat justified given their context. The director skillfully crafts the narrative to make the audience despise the episode's villain even more, drawing parallels to iconic anti-heroes like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Despite his history of mass destruction, Vegeta is seen as an anti-hero because he often battles greater threats. This nuanced writing allows viewers to overlook the protagonist's darker actions, much like in noir anime where the focus shifts to the more egregious villains, allowing us to empathize with Marielle and Kirika despite their violent paths. While the series excels in character development, it can become monotonous due to its dark tone and repetitive storytelling structure, occasionally relying too heavily on flashbacks. However, the depth of the characters keeps them compelling. The show effectively makes the audience despise the villains even more than the protagonists, enhancing our connection to Marielle and Kirika, who both grapple with traumatic pasts. I also appreciate the exploration of the villains' backstories and their connection to the Noir name. The concept of noir resurfacing every 30 years throughout history, like during the World Wars and the Sino-French War, opens up fascinating avenues for fan fiction. Imagining different stories set in various historical contexts with evolving weaponry could enrich the series' lore significantly. The music and sound design are commendable, as they contribute to the character-building process. Like Pulp Fiction, the series takes its time to explore each character, allowing the audience to form connections. However, criticisms remain. At times, the pacing can feel slow, akin to reading a tedious book, leading to moments of distraction. I recall listening to Salva Nos and other instrumental pieces during my childhood, sometimes singing along or adding my own lyrics, an indication of my mind wandering while still trying to engage with the content. Many viewers find themselves conversing with the characters or reflecting on their own thoughts, which can stem from both boredom and the emotional weight of the storytelling. The series evokes complex feelings, reminiscent of listening to Pink Floyd, where melancholic lyrics can lead to a state of emotional transcendence, even if the experience feels dull at times. Another noteworthy aspect is the show's strong feminist lens. None of the main characters are sexualized, which is a rarity in Japanese anime. The involvement of women in the project clearly influenced this choice, prioritizing a female perspective and avoiding the usual tropes of sexualization or fan service. The scene where Kirika is choked but manages to grab her gun and shoot is particularly striking. It's refreshing to see a shadow obscuring her skirt, steering clear of the typical panty shot often found in anime. This choice enhances realism without resorting to the objectification seen in many other series. Ultimately, the characters are depicted as charismatic figures struggling for identity, grappling with depression and suicidal thoughts. This resonates deeply with viewers who have faced similar challenges. Personally, I connected with the series during high school when I was adopted and navigating my own mental health issues. The feeling of objectification, stemming from emotional abuse and societal expectations, mirrors the struggles portrayed in the anime, creating a profound bond with its themes and characters.